gorgeous angels. Welcome to my channel. We're looking at the Resilio deck, and these are OH cards. I'll put the link to the website below. They're psychological cards, and I will be using them as oracle cards for channeling messages. And as usual, take this opportunity to charge the cards if you are part of this community and this channel, so that when I do future readings, your readings could be a little more accurate. So if you're interested in these decks, I do have quite a bit of them, and I will link the playlist for the deck flip throughs right here to this channel so that you guys can flip through and take a look at all the decks. So this one's the Resilio deck, and I don't know how many cards come in this. It should say on the website, but let's take a look. So we have two sides to this deck. Interesting, fascinating. Let's see what pulls through. Let's look at this first. Whoa, we see an eagle. There's the backside. So are these animals? Let's see. See an eagle. Monkeys. Oh, ants. Wow. Bear. Can you guys see if I hold it here? Barely. I'm sorry. I have to hold it here so you guys can see. Buffalo. Camel. Chameleon. Dolphins. This looks like an iguana. A lizard of sorts. Elephants. Donkey. Owl. A school of fish. I have a brooch almost in this exact same shape with all these little fishes. I don't know if it's listed on my website, but if it is, I will link it if someone's interested in these little fishies. Bat. Fox. A gorilla. A rooster. A hare. Two antelope. I believe they're antelope. A dog. Looks like a dog. I don't know if it's a wild dog. A dingo? No, it looks like a dog. A hedgehog. A kangaroo. A kitty cat. A crab. A roaring lion. Two parakeets. No, parrots. Oh, I was going to say a wild horse, and I said a horror. A wild horse. Penguins. A little mousey. Sheep. A sea turtle. A serpent. A beaver. A butterfly. A snail. A piggy. A spider. A bull. An ostrich. Or is it a flamingo? Do ostriches bury their heads in the sand? Yeah, right? Yeah, flamingos are pink. This is an ostrich. A dove. A lioness. And these could be crows or corvids. Ravens. Birds, nonetheless. And a mountain goat. Wow, I love these. Very good, the animal cards. Let's take a look at this deck right here. The other part of this deck, which seems to be a little more abstract according to the cover of the box. Okay, so this happens to be right on the cover of the box. So here's the back side. And let's go through. Can you guys see if I hold it here? Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't miss those days being on a crowded public transport bus. Huh. Interesting. Aren't these cards fascinating? Hmm. Can get lost in these images, bringing lots to mind here. Interesting. Look, she's the only one without a face. This one right here. That's weird. What is this? Pillows on a string or rocks on a string? It's difficult to tell what that is. Interesting, these people are all wearing masks. Very fascinating. So let us do a reading, shall we? Let's see. Are we using both decks? Yes, we are. Let's start with this and pull a message here for you guys. What is it that the viewer is needing to know right here, right now, Spirit? Thank you so much. What is it that the viewer is needing to know now? This message will not be for everyone. It's whoever needs to hear it right here, right now. Don't take any messages that aren't for you. Beautiful angel. All right. What is this message about? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective that have tapped into this video. Thank you, Spirit. Let's do that again. What is this message? I won't be reading any reversals. Fascinating. Serpent, snake, healing, shedding the old, wisdom. Snake could certainly also mean being deceived. I don't know which it is here. Let's take a look. We have someone blindfolded. This is giving me 8 swords type energy. juggling. This is also giving me 7 cups type energy. Yes. So something could be good, bad, lucrative, hurt us. We don't know. We're in the blind. We're in the blind to something, though. Okay, let's keep going. So we have this dump truck and this little person running behind it. It's never going to catch up. And we have the circle of people where they all put their shoe in the middle. Okay. A little sheep and a person with his back to the sheep. And we have the spiral staircase. Okay. And we have these eyes peering through, looking a little worried or concerned, which is very interesting because this is what's missing from this picture. This is like covered in the eyes, and this is like the eyes are open. Okay. Lots of purple here. And we have the tulip. So flower in the Lenormand is appreciation, gift. Okay, so let me see, little butterfly, which is about transformation. The snake, like I said, is about healing and transformation. Okay, let me tap into this energy and see what is there. Let's see what's under there. We have somebody walking like a tightrope sort of energy, trying to get balance. And here we see what looks like a waterfall behind. Okay. Okay, beautiful angels. The energy here is one, I do feel like a dynamic here, okay? You and your environment. I don't know which one you are or what your environment is, okay? But I feel like there's being at the mercy of another or circumstance in which we don't see clearly because we are withheld from a knowing or things unfolding or intentionally being left in the dark about something. But either way, there is us being at the mercy potentially of someone else or something else. Now, there's another energy coming through of someone who might be feeling helpless and feeling like they can see what's going on, but feel like they can't help or they don't know what to say or do. And so, like I said, I feel there's 2 energies. One's more helplessly blind at the mercy of, and the other one is feeling at the mercy of being able to see but not be able to do, which is very interesting how it's coming through. But either way, it's like we could be blown over at any moment by intense emotions or like the circumstance or like overwhelm. But it's like having to remain focused, having to remain on point, or having to remain some way in order to get across or in order to trek to safety, you know. But I feel like we might feel like it's like a race we cannot win, or very at the mercy of whatever the universe throws at us, or like we can't get around this thing or in front of this thing or catch up to this thing, and it's forever like fleeting us in some way. This is all part of our healing. This is all part of us sort of going through something here, you know, that allows us to shed, that allows us to become better versions of ourselves, that allows us to ascend. And when we ascend, sometimes we feel like we're going backwards, you know. So I feel like you need to know that you are appreciated. I feel like you need to know that showing appreciation is the only way for us to have appreciation come back to us. I feel like there might be an old energy of knowing how we fit in or how we have to be or how we're being perceived. that would bring us some comfort or some feeling of fitting in. But it's in this situation or this circumstance, I feel it's foreign. I feel it's different. I feel like maybe we feel like we don't belong, or like we're unsure of whether we're being received proper, or we would be received proper, or we are, like I feel like there's nothing comfortable about this energy at all. It's foreign to us, and we're at the mercy of it unfolding in some way. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, trust the innocence, trust the part of yourself that follows the divine, that admits when we don't know, that is able to not have to cling to a story or an idea or a version of us, that understands what comfort is or what we think needs to be the way to fit in or how to be, and allow ourselves to move with the divine with an innocent sort of energy of trust. And if we wander or navigate someplace where the divine leads us, that it's okay to trust that's part of the process, that even if it feels like we are lost, it's like we're lost with purpose. Even if we feel like maybe, or we're chasing like an endless sort of race or never going to get there, and it feels very overwhelming or like it's bigger than us, the situation, it's like that's not true, But there are certain things that you can do in that moment. And like I said, show appreciation, show love, show gratitude, show what you can, do what you can, but what you can't do and what you have to accept has to be something that is not resisted. So if we can't change, it's kind of, what's that Serenity poem that's coming through, God, give me permission to accept the things I cannot change, and the things that you can change, that you're aware of what you can change and what you can do, obviously with grace. I feel like either way, there's this helplessness here, It's like people in a situation might not be able to help you, but it might not be because they don't want to. It might be they feel helpless, or they don't know how, or they're bound to something, And you might feel like you're watching other people sort of be lost and not choosing, and having to go through things that you might feel helpless about. Like, this is just going to lead to pain for them. This is going to not be what I would have chose, or like this person, I don't know. There's like lots of things going that are out of our control. Watching other people sort of flounder, and watching a lot of people freeze, or watching people be, I don't know, and there's nothing we can do about it. And Spirit is saying what you can do is show love and appreciation where you are available, because you will be available in every moment to choose love, to show up, to be supportive however you can. And that within itself will lead you to the finish line, to try to remain balanced, even though everything's maybe, trying to get you off balance, especially your own emotions or the charge of the situation. So this is all about the healing. This is all about ascension. This is all about movement. And the movement, like I said, could sometimes feel like it's going backwards, but it's really shaking up the energy from stagnation, or from an old version of how we used to cope, or how we used to identify with belonging to whatever the divine has in store, which we don't know because it's still unfolding here. And feeling like at any moment we'll get hit with something, or it will come heavy, or all of a sudden the universe is going to throw something at me that I'm not able to handle, that's too heavy or too sudden or too sporadic, or anticipation of this thing, So not to get stuck in this energy, but to trust the divine, and know that you won't get left behind. Okay, no one gets left behind here. One foot in front of the other, beautiful angel, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.